What the fuck is a black African? Racist. What is a black African? I'll wait. They're just African. Or they're not even just African, because African is the fucking continent with your racist ass. So they're either going to be Nigerian or Tanzanian. See, your racism is so inbred in your DNA, you don't even notice when you're being racist under a black person coat. You crepe skin motherfuckers, stop commenting on that shit. Yeah, I'm resorting to calling names. Because at the end of the motherfucking day, I'm sick of you motherfuckers. And if you're not a crepe skin, then I ain't talking about you. Africans have nothing to do with black Americans. You the one keep lumping us all the motherfucking together. We're not the same. And of course they're not going to have anything to do with the oppression that we go through as black Americans. And nobody the fucks did. Why the fuck did you bring up black Africans for? The racism is showing. Get the fuck off my comments.
And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what's the infatuation with being indigenous Native American. They said copper colored people, they said non-Negroid as well, they said Oriental Cenarian. But they also said those people were bucket naked. And they didn't say buck naked, they were bucket naked. They had nothing on but a piece of cloth. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm proud of my Cameroonian ancestry. And that, I know for a fact. I'm proud of my East African ancestry. That, I know for a fact. My Afro-Latino ancestry. Through my 8th great-grandmother from Argentina was a slave that was born in Argentina. My 3rd great-grandfather was born in Mexico from the gullahs that went to Mexico that was knocking off the slave masters in the South. Yeah, I'm proud of my African lineage. That Native American stuff, that's for the birds. I'm on the high end compared to most African Americans. Because I'm going to be honest with you, the happiest day of my life is with me and my people. And when I say my people, I'm talking about people that love their roots. I'm talking about the transatlantic descendants that come out of the few that come out of America that love Africa, the Jamaicans, that my brothers and sisters in Jamaica, and throughout the Afro-Latinos and Afro-Latinas in Latin America, and throughout the Caribbean and the Virgin Islands, and all my people throughout the globe that love their African roots and want to go home and build Africa into greatness. The happiest day of my life is when we go home. And I got an announcement. I'm going to wait till next week to do it because it'll be all the way official. Some of y'all going to get mad, but I don't care. Do something. I dare you. I double dare you. I triple dare you. Do something. Because I ain't scared of nothing.
You think they filled out all that paperwork, sucked up to all those good white people, took that long-ass flight out here, took off those sandals and put on shoes just to fight white supremacy? Nah, they came out here to replace us. They came out here to replace black Americans. Even if they don't consciously realize it, that's what's going on. They're trying to replace us. But the problem is these Africans and these Caribbeans don't have the same soul that we have. They don't have the same vibe that we have. They don't have the talent that we have. So the white man may be trying to replace us, but it's only going to bite him in his flat ass. The last thing on the African's mind is to fight white supremacy. They're just happy to be in America. They're just happy to be in a place where it's constant running water. They're just happy to be in a place where you can make good money.
So I just saw a live stream of a black American woman saying Africans are the biggest threats. We are the ops, we're enemies. And I mean, in America, no less. She was talking about how we are trying to replace them. And I know it's a small group of black Americans that say this, but damn it, man, like I really want to address that small group. What do you mean Africans are trying to replace black Americans? Dude, Africans make up like barely 1% of the American population. Barely 1%. Barely 1% of the American population are African. I don't understand why some black Americans, think that we are your biggest threat. How are Africans your biggest threat? Like your biggest threat? Really? I'm just saying, like a black man was unfortunately hung in Mississippi. I can bet you money that wasn't done by Africans. I can guarantee you that wasn't done by Africans. If you as a black American think the Africans are your biggest threat, let us look at the past 50 years and see what you've gone through and what percentage of that was done by Africans. Like genuinely, what laws have Africans passed to subjugate black Americans? What violence has Africans meted out against black Americans? I don't get it. But I mean, listen, again, I know, like I said, it's not most black Americans. It's a very small segment. But you guys are loud. You're on panels a lot, right? And I don't control what I see on my TikTok FYP. So I'm addressing that small group. Tell me how we're your biggest threat and give me the data. Because I'm starting to think you guys just attack Africans because Africans are easy. We are an easy target, right? You cannot target the white guy. You cannot target the white man who does most of the violence against you. You don't target Latinos. You don't target Asians. You don't target Indians. But you guys have all the smoke in the war for Africans. But goddamn.
Watching these videos, I'll be back. I have a whole lot to talk. And trust me, I don't want you to miss any part of what I'm about to say, okay? You're going to enjoy it, trust me. But just watch everybody get angry, say whatever they want to say, and then I will be there to cement everything. So keep watching and do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video, right?
I want to know what your purpose was in saying this, because I believe that the start of humanity was in Mesopotamia, which we all know is located in Africa. Africa is the motherhood of the earth. Now, with that, we're not talking about ancestors. We're talking about culture. And Black American culture is its own thing, separate from Caribbean culture, South American culture, and African culture. I just want to know why Africans are so hell-bent on making other Black people around the world give them recognition for like where Black people originated from. Because I believe that Mansa Musa sent ships and Africans to every corner of the world. But then the question I have for you all is, how long does a people have to be in a place before they're considered from that place, right? Because I believe that there are native Black people to America. There are native Black people to Central America. There are native Black people to South America. There are native Black people to Australia. There are native Black people to Asia. And how long do those Black people have to be in those lands for you Africans to be like, they're just going to be Asian, they're just going to be Australian, they're just going to be South American? Like, y'all be so, I don't even know the word, that y'all want everybody to go and claim Africa. Mind you, they ain't been to Africa in thousands of years. They have never stepped foot in Africa. But y'all want us to claim Africa. Why? Because we're Black and melanated?
We're going to talk about the Afro, since there's a lot of people from the African diaspora who seems not to understand. Here's what I asked DeepSeek, you can screenshot. Yes, the Afro is a natural hairstyle that grows from its scalp, characterized by its dense curly texture that forms a rounded shape. It is most commonly associated with people of African descent due to its unique structure of black hair, tight, coily, kinky hair types. Historically, the Afro has been worn for centuries in various African cultures, but it became a powerful symbol during the Black is Beautiful and the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s and 70s. Cultural significance. While no single person or group invented the Afro, since it grows naturally from your scalp, it was popularized and named by Black communities in America as a political and cultural statement against Eurocentric beauty standards.
African Americans are going through an identity crisis right now, and there's a lot of misinformation on the internet about who we truly are. Let's talk about it, shall we? My name is Brother Legend, and I'm here to raise your consciousness. In all my years in the Black community, I have never been to a cookout where somebody was making a teepee in a campfire. And yet, for some reason, in the past 4 years, I have seen more and more Black people in America say that they are Native Indigenous or Aboriginal to America. And they use two justifications for this. One is that Black people were here before Columbus, which really makes no sense to me, because even when they get their DNA results back, it'll say you have a little bit of Native American in them, but I have not seen one person Black as me or blacker show their DNA results and it says that they are 100% Native American. I mean, the whole reason you're saying you're not African is because you're saying that you didn't come here through the transatlantic slave trade. So then why do you have African DNA? The second thing that doesn't make sense to me that I hear pretty often is when they say that you've never seen a slave ship, slave ships don't exist. And my question to that is, how do you think white people got here? Can anyone find the Mayflower or the Santa Maria? Like, how far are we willing to go into denying our own history just to avoid acknowledging our painful past? Are we going to deny other people's history too? Oh, but they don't want us to know who we truly are. That's why they keep it hidden. Then why is it that every pretendian is alive and well, but the scholars that taught us we were African are the ones that got unalive or silenced by the U.S. government? Make it make sense!
My African friend explained to me that a lot of Africans don't like African Americans, and that's simply a difference in culture. So let me explain how I discovered this. My friend and me were sitting down at an IHOP at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I invited him out. He said, "Thank you. I appreciate you. You are very kind." I said, "No problem, bro. I appreciate you." He said, "So you are from Africa, and why you don't have the accent?" I said, well, I've been here long enough to where I kind of adapted a Midwestern accent and I kind of lost the African accent. He said, okay, 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 I understand, okay. So we were talking and he said, oh, look at those hood rats over there. And I said, the hood rats? And there's a bunch of black people just being loud and rowdy. And I said, well, they're not really hood, it's just they're us. They're black people like us. And he said, you know how it is. And sadly, I knew exactly what he was talking about. You see, he then began to explain to me, like just in general, what I had thought and known for quite some time. He said, Africans do not know African Americans at all. They do not like them. Let me watch this. He said, hello, brothers. And he signaled the hood rats that he called them over there. He said, what's up, cuz? Cracking. Then he said, do you know who the African president is? And he says, nah, I had no idea. I don't know, Shabuki, like. And he like did some clicking noise, like, oh, that boy from like. And he was like, yeah, thank you, brother. You all right? He said, yeah, I know my African history. I'm from the motherland. Peace out, word up. He says, word up. See, they are idiots. I'm like, oh, yeah. He says, he starts explaining to me about how they don't know African history. They only know African American history. That's all they know. It's a difference. He said American Africans are not good. And I'm like, what do you mean not good? He said they're not us. They're not cultured like us. They are not us. And then I asked, I said, why would like some Africans come over here because they want to be American? Well, they get American money, send it over to their family. Asians do this too. And there's a bunch of Asians in Africa for some reason. And there's like a little subsection of Asian people, like Chinese people in Africa because there's no population laws. It's a whole thing. He was explaining all this lore to me. I didn't know anything about this. I was confused. I was like, are you sure this is real? And he said, as far as I know, this is real. This is what I know. I go by what I know. That is what I am. Then he started talking like homophobic and all this other stuff. And he said, well, think about it. Most older black people here even are homophobic. You know when they say, is he this? And I said, okay, that's fair. I'll give you that. But, you know, the newer generation is coming out and changing that. He says, no, newer generation African Americans, a majority are homophobic. Same with Caucasus people. Caucasus people, they are also homophobic. And I said, okay, all right, okay, fair. And I was just learning how his perception was, and it got me thinking, why is it that way? Why don't Africans like African Americans? Can someone explain that to me? Why is that?
So I've been seeing more of these videos about how black Americans are not like Africans, Africans are not like black Americans, basically diaspora wars, right? And as someone that was born in the UK, parents are from Ghana, immigrated to the UK in the 90s, and then now living in the USA for almost 10 years, this topic really bothers me because being able to see both sides of the coin in terms of black identity is like, it's kind of triggering. How I see it is that black Americans and Caribbeans and then Africans basically have the same mum but different dad. Now, this same mum, different dad situation, we've been hearing different stories about how it came to be. Some are saying that your mum cheated on your dad. Some are saying that your mum gave you up for adoption because she needed some cash. She needed some quick cash. She just said, cool, them kids kind of vibe. And then on the other hand, you're hearing that you got kidnapped middle of the night. They just took you and then you just missed. And to be honest, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle of that. But as a result, the family is very, very broken. The siblings don't live under the same roof. They talk different languages. They have different lifestyles, values, culture. People are even saying they look nothing alike. Living here, until people hear me speak, they assume I'm African American. So I'm definitely like received as African American. I feel like I understand the plight, navigating like the workplace and just environments and all of it, being black in America. And I understand it. Regarding the actual diaspora wars and like the broken family narrative that I'm talking about here, I don't think it's broken beyond repair. I think a big part of the therapy that's going towards healing this broken family trauma should be for black Americans to actually visit the motherland. If you can, you know, start with Ghana. They have so many educational site experiences and excursions that you can visit to like actually immerse yourself in your family's history and like just learn more and understand more and, I don't know, connect more with the past. Even outside of those things, even if you don't take part in any of the like educative experiences, just the general vacation vibe and the welcoming nature of the Ghanaian people, and you're gonna feel like one. You're gonna feel the love. But obviously, I understand that visiting Africa, just flying out, is not as feasible for everyone. So a way to meet in the middle could be that if you, like Americans or diasporans, Caribbeans and Africans, come across each other in the West or wherever you find yourself, do your best to just talk and connect, like, about your experiences and about your upbringing, about the past. Just try to season each other. That can forge better ties. Over time, hopefully it will be a snowball effect, and then we could just get more of a sense of oneness and a sense of family.
I'm going to say this, and it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but African Americans have been taught to not trust each other. And it's the biggest generational curse in this country. We'll go on jobs and we see other African Americans. Instead of celebrating, we'll say, I hope they're not ghetto. We see one African American doing good, we become hateful. Talk down about them, put them down, try to scam them. We have been taught to be our own worst enemies. And it is the colonized and enslaved mind that will continue to keep us back as a people. And when you learn to love your black skin and learn to stick and support your people, the outcome that many of us have experienced will be different. When you know better, do better. Stop being so quick to hate your brother and your sister because your experience and what your parents or your community has taught you that other black people are enemies. The devil is a liar.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Even y'all know it. Even y'all know it. Saying thank God, that was a little extra. But even y'all see it. We are different. We look different. We have phenotypical differences. And even y'all know it as Africans, we know it as Black Americans. So what's the problem? What's the issue? We don't look like y'all. Y'all are happy that y'all don't look like us. So what is everybody fussing my shit about?
The reason why African Americans don't think that they look African is because majority of the times African Americans are comparing themselves to East African, when in reality, most African Americans have West African ancestry and not East African ancestry. And East Africans and West Africans look completely different. Number two, if you take an average African American and you look at their DNA, it will show that they have 25%, approximately 25% of European DNA there. Like they're like 25% European. I do want to talk more about this, but I'm going to be making a YouTube channel where I'll be talking about the Black diaspora. I'm going to be talking about history. I'm going to be talking about, mainly the constitutions of Black countries, etc. Kind of like what I do on TikTok. So just go ahead and hit the follow button. I'm going to be talking about religious groups and religious movements in Black countries, because I believe that if we know a little bit more about each other, then this whole diaspora war thing will go away. Well, it's not going to go away. It will be lessened. It'll, be less. There's always going to be war. But yeah.
Okay, so one thing that I don't like about people that don't look like me is stop thinking that just because I'm Black, that I'm African. Like, there is a difference between Africans, Caribbeans, and African Americans. We all have a completely different culture. Like, I don't know anything about Africa. I was born in America. I've never been to Africa. I seen this lady say, yeah, because even Africans don't claim y'all. And it's like, why would they claim us when we've never been there? Like, why would they claim us? You know what I'm saying? And not all African Americans are the same. Like, yeah, you do got the ones that's in the hood and in the slums, but you got some African Americans that done grew up in the suburbs their whole life. They don't know nothing about being in the hood and not eating every day. They ain't never lived there. Like, we not all the same.
I want to touch on this comment right here. They said, we are not the same people. Africans despise us. F you mean. No hate. We just not tolerating disrespect. And you know what? I agree with you. There's disrespect on both sides. And this is by design, okay? We've all been brainwashed. Okay? If you've never been to Africa, you should not speak. When you go home to the continent, if you're a Black American, most of them people welcome you home. They know who you are. Okay? So we got to stop it. We got to come together. We are family. And we need to be using our energy against the so-called nations together, okay? Now, the Africans have been colonized on a major level. That's why they're over here. And I understand it is disrespectful for them to be over here in America disrespecting the FBAs because they were miseducated on who we are. They're told not to deal with us, and I do agree with that aspect. But this is all to get us to go against each other, okay? At some point, we're going to have to unite and put all this stuff to the side, man, for real. We are better together, okay? The stuff that we're arguing about is really irrelevant. We are one people. Africa got red bones over there, different colors. It ain't just dark-skinned Africans in the continent. Africa is such a huge place, and we got to understand we are family by blood. Despite what you've been told about the DNA test, that's another lie to move the goalposts for the elites. So once again, we are one people. I do understand the disrespect, and the African brothers and sisters, they need to understand our history and understand that when they came over here, they didn't have to go through Jim Crow. They didn't have to fight for the civil rights movement. We are the reason why that anybody can come over here, and we deserve more respect. But that's the elites and the colonizers. Allow them to come over here while exploiting resources from their land. They don't talk about that part. You're over here, but you guys got the resources over there in your land that are being exploited by the same colonizers that are destroying our families over here in America. So let's get it together, Black folks, melanated people. We come from the same lineage, whether you believe it or not, and we don't need you to believe it. But I personally am not going to get involved with the war. I'm going to play the middle, and I'm going to call it out. There is disrespect on both sides. It's equal. But let's put that to the side and unite now.
So yesterday I talked about how many Black Americans say we don't look like Africans. But now let's flip it, because truth be told, a lot of Africans say Black Americans don't act, talk, or think like them. And some even say we are not the same. Where did that mindset come from? And can we heal it? Or are we too far gone? Because with all these videos, it feels like we're too far gone, but something can actually be done about it, right? Now, let's understand all this. Africans grew up on the continent in majority Black societies, right? Black Americans were born in a country that devalued them from day one. You can't compare someone raised in a Black majority with someone raised in a system that is built on Black oppression. Africans were taught to see Black Americans as spoiled or lost. So when they come to the US, they judge Black Americans without knowing what they've been through. Keep listening to me, right? Just listen to what I'm saying. You're going to understand what I'm saying, right? Now, Black Americans were taught to see Africa as poor and primitive. Western media show Africa as full of hurts, hunger, and war. They rarely show African cities, their cultures, their innovations, or wealth. They think we are lost. We think they're struggling. Are you seeing the thing? Africans are thinking we Black Americans are lost, and then we Black Americans are seeing Africans as struggling. You see all of that? Then let's talk about the colonization versus the enslavement, right? It's different wound, but the same pain. Africans were told that their culture was wrong and had their country divided by Europeans. Are you seeing that? Black Americans were enslaved, beaten, and made to forget who they are. You see, different weapons, same war, and now we are blaming each other instead of healing together. The real enemy loves division. Are you seeing it? The thing is, Everybody has their own. Like here in Africa, a lot of people say everybody have their own. But what is the real thing? The real thing is that the real enemy just enjoys this division. As long as black people from both sides of the Atlantic stay divided, we are easier to control, easier to exploit. When we unite, we are unstoppable culturally, politically, and economically. And that is exactly what they fear. Imagine what's happening in Burkina Faso right now. Can we have more of that? Can we have more of that? Look at what Burkina Faso is doing to France. Would they have ever thought in their life that an African country will rise up to them in that manner? That is why they work so hard to keep us apart. It's not about who's better. It's not about who suffered more. It's about who we could be together. Africa is not perfect. Black America is not perfect too. But we were never meant to be enemies, right? I keep saying it on my platform. I agree. If Black Americans are saying we are natives, I agree. You understand? There is no problem. You are Native Americans. Some of you are Indians, right? It doesn't matter. All of this thing. But the thing is, we have the same melanin. And these people enjoy seeing us apart. The system divided us. But now it's our job, it's our own job now to build the bridge. Yeah, you are not Africans. Yeah, you agree. We agree. I agree, right? I've always said it. I agree. Black Americans are not Africans, right? But now I want you all to see that a lot of us have been taught nonsense, taught rubbish. We could build it. Imagine if Black Americans that are just 4% could have the backings of Africa. You understand? While you people go conquer America, these people can't treat you anyhow. These people will not win you in that country. And that is what I want you all to understand. Do you understand it right now? The system divided us. They are happy with all these things. But now it's our job to actually build it and heal. What do you think? Do I make any sense? Do not forget, it's from a place of love. We're learning every day, right? I will always say it now and ever. Black Americans deserve apologies. Black Americans deserve so much love and respect, especially, when it comes to everything they've been through and how they've, conquered a lot of things to this stage. They deserve that respect. But let me say, for the sake of our color, for the sake of who we are, if you believe it's time to heal, let me see you drop your hearts in the comments. If you're also ready to build unity from the ruins, I want you to drop your hearts in the comments, right? I am tired of all this diaspora wars. It's so strong and it's strange. It keeps going on and on and on. It's not ending, right? These things could just be put to an end once and for all. I want to see your thoughts in the comments, right? Do not forget, I am your sister, your friend, right? I'm also Black American. I'm also African, right? Do not forget to share this video. Let's keep being educated. I would like to see your thoughts in the comments, right? Keep it locked. Bye, guys.